everyone. Welcome to Craig's Gun Channel. Today we're on our Random Shots episode, our live episode where we talk about anything and everything that's 2A related. So we'll talk about firearms, talk about gun news. We also talk about politics, conspiracy theories. Really, just about anything that comes to mind. So,
things that go boom.
Yeah, things that go boom. Things that fly overhead that aren't supposed to be there.
That's right. That's right.
So basically, you never know what we're going to talk about for sure. We already changed the lineup for tonight from when I put the schedule on the stream. So if you were really paying attention to the description on the show, it's going to be a little bit different. So
yeah.
Keep
it frosty?
Yeah, keep it frosty. Okay. So I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Jump right into it.
Feels like it's been forever since we've done one of these. I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, it has been a while.
3 weeks felt like months. So.
And for anyone who watches the show regularly, we were doing a weekly show, and then we kind of decided to do a bi-weekly show. And now the realities of summer and time and all the things that we have to do.
Responsibility.
Yeah, responsibilities. Have to do that adulting stuff.
Yes.
We're actually going to be moving the show to once a month, a live show. We'll still be doing some other video content here and there because the nice thing about the summer is we can get out and do some actual firearm shooting. We just had the Henry, the big boy revolver
big boy.
out and had that video posted. That thing was a blast. I love that.
Yes.
It's now on the wall, kind of right behind me, so you can't see it. But just where my head is, just there, it's right there. I had a blast shooting that. That was a lot of fun.
Henry does not disappoint.
No.
I've been happy with everything I've shot of theirs, and this was no different.
Yep. So hopefully we'll get more content like that out. But the live show, as I said, will just be once a month, at least through the summer. Once it picks back up into fall and winter, we might start going back a little bit more regular. So
sounds fair. I know these fine people in the audience are probably doing summer stuff also. So
I hope so.
I think that they'll look for our notifications when we're throwing up something live, and our original gangsters will be back. I'm confident.
So we'll go ahead and get going with the show. The first thing I want to bring up, the Ruger LC Charger in 5.7 by 28. So if you're familiar with the Ruger LC carbine, it's kind of like their 9mm carbine, except it's in 5.7. And so just similar to the same thing they did with that, they made a Charger version. So it's basically a large format pistol. Unfortunately, because of current stuff with braces, you kind of neuters it a little bit. I still think it's cool looking though. Mm-hmm. It's something I don't know if I'll get one to try out or not. They're pricey. So anyway, we'll go over them. So it's the large format pistol, 10.3-inch threaded barrel, ambidextrous manual safety, reversible magazine release. It's based on the Ruger LC carbine and utilizing the same magazines and controls as their 5.7 pistol. The LC Charger combines the best of both platforms. It's a 5.7 by 28 low recoiling cartridge, available in an exciting array of options for target shooting. That's when you can find those options. Suitable for small game, personal defense, just target shooting and having fun. So like the 5.7 pistol, the LC Charger utilizes Ruger's safe, reliable, and proven secure action fire control mechanism that combines a protected internal hammer with a bladed safety trigger that has a short, smooth pull, clean break, and positive reset. Yes, this is a press release. The nitride-coated alloy steel barrel is threaded 1/2 by 28 for the attachment of a standard muzzle accessories. Go ahead and pull up a full-size picture here so you can get a better look at it. It's made in the USA of strong, lightweight materials. It's ideal for the range, home defense, backpacking, or small game. So here's the specifics. It's a large format pistol, comes in at 66.5 ounces. So it's a hefty one. Utilizes the same steel magazines and controls as the 5.7 pistol. It comes with one 20-round capacity magazine. Features a 10.3-inch nitride-treated barrel, 8-groove, 1-9 right-hand twist, 1/2 by 28 threaded barrel with threaded protector, ambidextrous manual safety, reversible charging handle, ergonomic bolt release, extended magazine release latch. Utilizes, as I said, their secure action. CNC milled handguard that's Type 3 hard coat anodized aluminum for maximum durability. M-lock accessory attachment slots. Multiple QD sling sockets for maximum versatility. Full-length top Picatinny rail for optic mounting. It does not even come with sights. So you have to provide your own optic or fixed hard sights. It includes the 1911 style ambidextrous manual safety, integrated trigger safety, neutral balance sear with significant engagement, strong spring tension, a hammer catch to help prevent the hammer from contacting the firing pin unless the trigger is pulled. And it comes with the QD sling socket, hand stop, and a hex wrench for disassembly. It is not available in the People's Republic of California or Massachusetts.
Screw 'em. No, I like just, obviously we don't have one right in front of us looking at it, but from your picture, I think it's unique. Kind of has that contemporary front end of it where it's got the shrouded.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It doesn't actually touch any of the barrel on the handguard part. I like the full length Picatinny. It looks like the PC. Is it a takedown also? Did I miss that? Did you say
no,
is it takedown like the PC Charger?
Nope. It's not a takedown like the.
Am I saying the right one? PC Charger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
That's right. Okay. I know that one has a little takedown. I'm not sure what the function, why you would. But
I'm not really positive on that either. This one does not have that. So it's just a large format pistol.
Okay.
I think it's cool. The downsides, it's 5.7 by 28, which is not a downside. The cartridge is great. The downside, it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And it's not always easy to find.
$1,000 MSRP. Right?
And the suggested retail price of this firearm is $999. Now, it's obviously going to have a street price less than that. I'm going to put this one probably around $700, $750 after they are out for a while.
Yeah, yeah.
So like everything else, it's something, it's the new hotness, so it's going to be expensive for a while. Does this serve a practical purpose? I'm going to say no, not really, because it is a large format pistol. Now, if you went ahead and SBR'd it, either with a brace, or that'd be just ridiculous, actually put a stock on it and SBR'd it, it would be a cool little platform. With the one downside that still just takes a regular pistol magazine, so you would still be limited to 20 rounds. Which, okay, it's 20 rounds, but they have 9mm pistols with 20-round magazine capacity. So it's not a stupendous, round capacity or anything. Now, I believe the Palmetto State Armory Rock magazines that hold 23 rounds, I believe they'll work in it. I'm not positive. I'd have to double check.
So that underguard thumb
the hand stop.
Yep. Is that integrated into it, or is that removable? It doesn't look like they can mount anything underneath. Is there no Picatinnys?
It's removable.
It is removable?
Yeah, removable hand
M-lock
stop.
probably?
Yep. And that's to help prevent you from accidentally putting your hand forward and, making a bad day.
Poking a hole in it, right.
Yep. Overall, it's cool. I mean, I liked the PC Charger. Mm-hmm. It was a lot of fun. I like the large format pistols. You could probably notice that I've got them all over the wall. They're a lot of fun. As far as actual practical utility, unless they're an actual machine, full automatic machine pistol, so it's the room clearing and stuff, they don't really serve a super useful function.
Right.
They're just fun.
Yep, I agree.
And the only drawback with this one is it's fun at a high cost. But anyway, I thought it was cool and just fairly new, so I wanted to let you know on that one.
Good one.
So we'll move on to the next one here. And this is, there again, this is kind of a second verse, same as the first type of thing, but it was already announced earlier in the year, but they're now actually available. So it's the CZ Scorpion 3 Plus Carbine. First released to the U.S. public in pistol form, the new Scorpion 3 Plus Carbine, go ahead and pull that up here so people can see it, has been developed based on consumer feedback and military and law enforcement personnel. The rifle rounds out the popular Scorpion 3 Plus semi-automatic firearm platform and utilizes the iconic Scorpion Evo folding stock with 3 adjustment points. Backwards compatible magazine, ambidextrous mag release and bolt caps, improved sights, and upgraded grip ergonomics. The Scorpion 3 Plus offers the operator an exceptional shooting experience on the range as well as confidence and security at home. The specifications of the Scorpion 3 Plus Carbine closely follow the previous versions. It uses a 16.3-inch cold hammer-forged barrel with its muzzle threaded 1/2 by 28, supplied with a removable faux suppressor, so you can, pretend to be an operator. The rifle stock can telescope to offer 3 different lengths of pull and folds, making the overall length 32.7 inches extended or 24.4 inches collapse. The handguard has M-lock slots for attaching accessories. Rifle weighs 6.85 pounds. So this basically is now the carbine version of their new 3+ series. Suggested retail price $999. So there again, it is not a cheap one.
All right, dumb question.
Yes.
What is the 3+? Did I miss it?
Well, it's just they had the Scorpion Evo 3. This is now their new version. It's a Scorpion Evo 3 Plus.
Which do you know what the difference between the 3 and the 3+ was? Why? What did they do to upgrade it to make it a plus?
There's just some slight changes to it. There's not a whole lot different
Like
with it.
visible changes, not really performance.
They're only visible if you really held them up side by side. Performance-wise, not really any changes at all.
I'm just curious.
Yeah.
I'm not a big Scorpion guy, so that was a real question. I wanted to see if there was a...
There isn't a huge difference. I was actually kind of disappointed when they came out with the 3+, not because I'm against them innovating and, you know, making mild modifications. Just they changed the magazines, so, you know, they are backwards compatible, but if you've got your Scorpion 3+ and you've got a whole crate of old Scorpion magazines, well...
Yeah.
You know, kind of out of luck. But anyway, the magazine capacity is 20-round magazines, double-stack polymer, fiber-reinforced polymer frame, adjustable aluminum sights. The grips are polymer, adjustable for reach to the trigger, all the same as the original Evo. Overall length, 32.7 inches, 8.9 inches high, 2.44 inches wide, 6.85 pounds, ambidextrous manual safety. I think it's cool. And there again, they've got the Evo, the pistol. They've got the micro. Now this is just the rifle version. So they were good. You knew they were going to come out with all three versions, just like they did with the original Evo. So
that one's also MSRP $999.
$999.
So quick, Craig.
Yes.
You could only take one. Which one for $999?
If I could only take one, I'd take the Evo.
I'm with you.
Because there again, 9mm. It's more. The ammunition's more available. It's cheaper to shoot. This one actually would serve a more useful purpose.
I'm with you.
So
I'm with you.
So go ahead and move on. We have one more piece of industry news. Go ahead and pull this up here. It's an important safety notice. Taurus has issued a safety recall for some GX4 pistols that may discharge if dropped, which that's no bueno. That's not good at all. Taurus will inspect, repair, and return your gun for free if you have one of the affected models. Go to their website, enter your pistol serial number, and find out if it's included. So that's basically it. It's just a recall.
I can hear the High Point people chirping at us right now.
Yeah,
I can hear them.
They can chirp all they want. For not much more money, you get a much better pistol still.
Right.
And recalls happen with every firearm that's out there. So I don't really worry too much about recalls now. If there's a defect with a firearm and the company refuses to acknowledge it, that's when there's a problem.
Right.
But no, they just put this right out there. So go to their website if you have one of those, plug in your serial number and see if yours is affected. I would recommend you do that as soon as possible because if you do have one of those that's affected,
you don't want to find out.
You don't want to find out the hard way.
Yep.
So
we've got a little bit of chatter in the chat room. Please, any of y'all that want to chat out, we're going to recognize some of you here. We got a question for you, Craig. What is the one pew-pew that you guys dream of trying out if you could pick anything from Sammy P?
If there's just one I could just get just to try out and shoot, and it's not even a new one, it's kind of an old one at this point, and it's the real version of that. That is the PS90.
Okay.
Which is the consumer version, semi-automatic, 16-inch barreled, P90. A fully automatic P90 would just be a blast.
I was thinking along the same lines. I was definitely going to go full auto because I'm still a full auto virgin. I've never shot a full auto gun yet. I'd do an MP5, I think.
That'd be another cool one.
I think a full auto MP5. I'd like to unload
a
couple clips of those. So.
And there again, that's actually a great question because having these dream lists and stuff. Now, could I go find a place that rents out? You could make that happen.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of
are you going to
doing it? Yeah.
Yep.
So
what's the place down south that everybody goes to shoot automatic weapons? Can't think of it. There's that's I think in Kentucky.
Where they used to have the yearly shoot?
No, everybody goes to, it's like a big gun show, and then they do a yearly shoot, and they have the 50 cal long range, and they have
here
the
it comes.
full auto.
The name has escaped me, but that's gone.
They don't do it
They
anymore?
don't do it anymore.
Something Valley or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
Apple Valley keeps popping in mind, but
Yeah.
that's because that's not it.
No.
But
You know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
though.
yeah, those days are over.
Long gone.
The guy that owned the property and stuff, he basically, I can't remember if he passed away or if he just got older to the point where he just didn't want to deal with it anymore, which is a shame, because that was a major event for people.
Yeah.
Full automatics. If you have full automatic, for one, it's a super expensive hobby, and there's not a lot of places you can actually go legally shoot those.
Yep.
Because most of your firearm ranges, they're like, oh, no. Most firearm ranges, the range here in Central Ohio that I used to go to every once in a while, it's a wonderful range now because they've redone it. It's on Route 229, just outside of Norton Sporting Goods. State park, state-run range. You can't even shoot like 3 shots in a row quickly without them completely spazzing out.
Really?
Yeah, I've had the range officer come and yell at me several times, and he's like, "You can't hit anything if you're shooting that fast." It's like, well, you can if you practice.
Was he... unbelievable.
So I get why they do stuff like that, because they're trying to control to make sure people aren't out there and just like
Spewing everywhere.
everywhere. But
Mind your own business.
so
I have a gun that I'd like to see you shoot.
Oh, what's
on
that?
my wish list. Have you ever seen the 4-bore?
the four
It's
like
a single shot. It's it shoots a bullet that is taller than a Campbell soup can, and it's about the size of a roll of quarters. And it's I forget, it's like 2,200 grain bullet.
Oh, my.
It shoots. I can imagine either one of us with that thing on our shoulder, it'd throw us probably 4 or 5 feet backwards.
yeah, those I used to. The older I get, the more recoil sensitive I've
I'm
gotten.
with you. I feel it the next
Now is that a handgun that you're talking about?
No, it's
okay. So
it's like an elephant gun.
Okay.
But it's called a 4-bore. Kentucky Ballistics shot it last week on one of his videos. It's insane.
Is he just trying to come up with another way to blow himself up?
Yeah, it's actually funny. He tested it against level 4 armor. He put level 4 armor on a jelly zombie, one of those jelly zombie bodies, and it took the actual plate,
Probably right through
put it inside. It was like a balloon inside. It caught the bullet, but it took all that energy and made like a big balloon inside the zombie's belly.
Yeah, armor plating is a great concept, but you reach a point where just the mechanical energy that's involved, the kinetic energy. So, okay, the bullet didn't go into you, but if the whole plate does, did it really do anything?
Every vital organ.
Yeah.
I mean, so. All right.
So what you got?
I was going to bring up something that dropped in the news today.
Okay.
It's been heavy on everybody's mind in the past, since January, right, when they dropped this, the pistol brace rule. We do have a breaking news update. The Congress has scheduled in the House of Representatives a next Tuesday vote, which is going to be what? Today is
the 8th.
So 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. So Tuesday the 13th is going to be a vote in the House of Representatives. Now, Craig pointed out to me that let's not celebrate yet. It does more than likely need to be ratified in the Senate in order for it to take any sort of
True
real
legal
holding.
effect.
But also this is going to have ripple effects as far as it's going to give maybe more lawsuits some traction to get to higher courts and appeals courts and possibly even the Supreme Court. So it's definitely a positive. It's way too early to start jumping up and down and cheering yet. But good news out of Capitol Hill today. They are, in fact, going to bring it up for a vote. So
yeah, I like this for several reasons. One is because it's the right thing to do. Mm-hmm. The ATF has just drastic overreach with this. They're actually trying to legislate through bureaucracy, and that's a no-no. And that's what this vote actually is for. It's basically it's an instruction that you have overstepped. You don't have the right to do that. So I like that. I like the fact that they finally brought it to the floor, because I'll just put it out there. McCarthy was doing some of the shenanigans I was afraid he would start doing, and he was holding it hostage to try to drum up votes for the new debt ceiling bill, and that just really irritates me to no end. And I think people need to remember that.
He is
when
the
it comes
swamp
up.
rat that we always knew he was.
Yep.
I don't think either of us were.
Not a surprise,
No,
not
not
at
at
all. So I'm glad about that. Now, a lot of that, I have to give some credit. Guns and Gadgets and other channels like that have been motivating people to call their congressman. There's been constant pressure and phone calls that's been put on them. I'm sure that's one of the reasons why this was finally brought up to a
Who do
vote.
you have, Jordan?
Jordan.
You're
Yeah.
safe. He's definitely voting in our favor. My rep is on there. I can't remember what it says. Can you blow that up? Troy Balderson. I can never remember his name. He's kind of
A little wishy-washy.
Yeah, he's a conservative, I guess, but he's not strong like the Boberts and the Jordans and the Matt Gaetz. I wish he'd be a little bit more like them.
Yep. But I mean, overall, this is good news. And for other related kind of news with that, for people that hopefully everyone's following this. If you're watching this channel, you're probably watching the other stuff too, so you know. But there's been a lot of legal stuff. There's been a couple injunctions. Now, the injunction that should be put out there, which would just be a nationwide injunction on the regulation for the entire country, has not happened, which it should. But so far, there's injunctions for the state, for GOA members, for FPC members. Lots of limitations and stuff with that, so keep that in mind. But all of that is heading and kind of pointing to the direction that the courts are not going to look upon this favorably.
Lots of holes in it.
So.
Lots of holes. All right, next one is you had brought up old used car salesman Gavin Newsom in California earlier.
Yeah.
So our buddy Gavin, I read this and I have in the back of my mind, this is what's the word I'm looking for?
Presidential
broadcasting that you're going to be a presidential contender. Everybody sees Bumbling Joe fumbling all over himself and making a fool of him and all of us. And it's starting. You're starting to see the media and Democrats start to shy away from defending them and making excuses. And maybe it's time to hang up the boots, old Joe. And of course, Gavin Newsom is the next golden child that every Democrat loves, and he's everything that we hate as a politician. He's done such a great job in California, turned it into a shithole.
Literally.
Look at San Francisco, yeah. But he's got the credentials. He's got the very important high-power people behind him. Nancy Pelosi, offspring or relation somehow.
Yep.
So anyways, Gavin Newsom is proposing that he will bring about a 28th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution. This is his tweet. This is straight off of old used car salesman's tweet board. Proposing 28th Amendment to help end our nation's gun violence crisis. The American people are sick of Congress's inaction. The 28th will enshrine 4 widely supported gun safety freedoms. Now, that makes me cringe, Craig, but unfortunately, I think he's right about the part of widely supported, which really pisses me off. Yep. I picture this as being a step towards the final goal, a small step that kind of traps everybody into thinking that it's a safe thing to go ahead and support this based off of these 4 things. First one, I'm sorry. First one is raising the minimum age. I think that even some Second Amendment supporters and even gun owners, and I think there's going to be some people out there that look at that and say, yeah, I don't have a problem with that.
Yeah, there'll be some FUDs that
young kids aren't like what we used to be when we grew up, and they're all
their frontal lobes aren't fully developed yet.
And they're out playing Xbox or whatever. I agree. They're not as mature as I remember us being at that age. But so I think we're gonna have some people be like, okay, yeah, that's fine. Let's give them this inch, and that never works. Number 2, universal background checks. This is their holy sacrament. They want this so bad, so they can have lists.
Yep.
They want
because that's the only way it works is to have a national registry.
That's right. So that's number 2. I think you'll have some Second Amendment people that'll be like, okay, let's give them the background checks so they'll just shut up. That's not how this works. They're not going to shut up. Number 3, a reasonable waiting period. That's kind of ambiguous, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like the wait it takes for me to just, have my credit card run through.
Right.
So
Yeah, I think that's too long, right? It should be already gift wrapped, waiting for me, so I can just have Uber drop it off at my house. Number 4, banning the civilian purchase of assault weapons. There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. That old nasty black assault rifle that goes around shooting people without a human being behind it because it's just an awful tool.
The reality is I would like to be able to find where all these assault weapons are actually being sold.
Yeah.
Because I would like to have one.
Yeah. Pick me. What is an assault weapon?
Well, it's a made-up term. But technically it kind of rolls back to the Sturmgewehr, which was the storm weapon back from the Nazi Germany days, and an assault weapon would be a weapon used for an assault. So that would be a select fire, fully automatic type firearm.
Yeah,
I'd like one of those.
Yeah,
we just had the question a bit ago. It's like, what would you like to really shoot? And it's like, I would like the assault weapon version of that for real. But we can't buy assault weapons. We can buy weapons that people don't like because they look scary.
The other side on this is so stupid. I saw they were doing a rally, like Mothers Against, what's the group that does Mothers Against Violence, something like that.
Yeah, Mothers Against Gun Violence or something like that.
So they were doing a rally, and they're out there with their pickets and everything, and some conservative website, I'm going to sneeze, went up there and started asking some of them what are they protesting about, and this leftard comes out and he's like, we just want to get the automatic weapons off the street. We don't care about the semi-automatic. We just want the automatic guns that are killing our kids off the street. And the dude's like, which specific automatic, name something. He's like, the AR, it was completely,
they don't know.
No idea what they're talking about.
Well, they do fire in full semi-automatic.
Yeah, exactly. We don't care about the semi-automatic. You can have, but the fully automatics need to be banned. And the dude's like, those are already illegal, and you have to have a federal stamp license, blah 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 blah. But these guys are morons, and it drives me nuts that they have a vote on something like this because they don't know what they're talking about.
Yeah, well, did you watch some of the congressional testimony on the pistol braces?
No.
Honestly, there's a couple, and they're the left-leaning, Democrat, congressmen are up there. They honestly thought that a pistol brace made a gun shoot like a machine gun. They were getting completely confused with a bump stock, which that already is not a machine gun. But the fact that they don't know the difference and they're up there trying to make laws about them.
Embarrassing.
Yes,
frauds.
Embarrassing is the right word.
All right, hit the next one.
Okay, so moving on here, since we're talking about firearm laws, things like that, and they keep trying to propose new ones, because that's just what they do. Here's the reality. Let me pull this up here. So. This is kind of a meme thing. Hunter Biden lied on Form 4473 to illegally purchase a gun, a felony punishable by up to 10 years in prison, $250,000 fine. His girlfriend then dumped the gun in the trash next to a school. He wasn't even arrested. Why don't we enforce existing laws before demanding new ones? And that is absolutely the truth. And so basically, when you buy a firearm, you answer a question on there that's very specific, and it says, are you an unlawful user of or addicted to marijuana or any depressant, stimulant, narcotic drug, or any other controlled substance, blah, 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 blah. So it is a process crime, but it's one that, quite honestly, we would go to jail for, but we're not him.
You're not Joe's son?
This happened, quite a while ago. Well, there's starting to be a little bit of traction now. Enough people are kind of saying, there seems to be an awful lot of stuff like this going on. Maybe we should look into it. So now, for those of you who haven't heard yet, the legal team for Hunter Biden, they're starting to prepare a defense. And so Hunter Biden is arming himself with Second Amendment defense amid DOJ probe for illegal gun purchase. So this story just ran a little bit ago. Now this story's been running off and on since 2016 when this news originally broke. So Hunter Biden could soon find himself championing Second Amendment legal protections. So one of the few times I will actually agree with Hunter Biden. But in an attempt to defend himself against possible charges for possessing a firearm as a drug user, a position that would square off against his father's own administration. The president's son is under investigation by the Justice Department, a portion of which involves, I got the year wrong, 2018 gun purchase. During that time, the younger Biden said he was a regular cocaine user. He's been interviewed and stuff where he said this stuff. So it's not like there's alleged. He's admitted it already. Federal law prohibits drug users from owning guns. But now a Supreme Court ruling last year that essentially broadens Second Amendment protections puts that prohibition into question, and Biden's lawyers could use the argument as part of their defense. So the main reason I wanted to bring this up was it's twofold. One, I actually agree with something with Hunter Biden for once.
Yes.
Now, the only reason why they're agreeing with this is because it might,
save his skin.
It might save his skin. And the other part is I want people to be aware, if you're not already, there is two totally separate legal systems at play. Mm-hmm. There is one for them, which basically is they can do anything they want, and no one will say anything. And then there's the one for us, where they actively look for a crime that you committed. Like that's what they're doing with Trump. Is they just keep researching and indicting and look for the crime.
Yep.
So I just wanted to kind of bring that up to everyone's attention.
Yeah. I hope he does go. I think that would actually help the Second Amendment cause if it became a high profile.
It absolutely would. Yep.
More power to him. I believe him. I mean, I believe he can use it here. I believe that he probably did nothing wrong. As far as that, but it's the law, like you said, and if it was you or me,
yep. Well, I mean,
we're already in jail, rotten.
Yeah. The way you said it might not be right. He did do something wrong according to the law, but it shouldn't be something that's wrong.
Right.
I mean, actually,
that's what I meant to say.
Yeah. My opinion has changed and evolved over the past 15 years or so. I used to be one of the people that believed, once you committed a felony, you should never be able to own firearms again. I don't think that's true. If you've committed a felony and you've paid the penalty, and now you've been released,
then you should be clean as.
Then you should be released. Yep. You should have all of your rights back. If you're dangerous enough to the point that you shouldn't have those rights, you shouldn't be released.
I got you.
Anyway, what you got?
This is off the beaten path a little bit. Let's go back 10, 15 years ago, and I said, Craig, what do you think the chances of an EMP attack on United States soil? What would you say that would be? 1 in a million?
10, 15 years ago? Yeah, probably.
1 in a million. What would you say it would be today? Think of the Biden balloon scandal, the China balloons coming across. Think of...
I would put the odds actually...
1 in 1,000 maybe?
I would
drop that much?
I think it would be tighter than that. I would put maybe 1 in 100.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a very real threat.
Almost imminent?
In some ways, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, for anyone
depending on your time frame.
Yeah, depending on time frame. If for anyone not paying attention, China is really rattling the saber right now. And, well, Russia obviously is. They infected the Ukraine. But China is the one that we really need to watch. I mean, they've been doing a lot of really close flybys with their fighter aircraft. They came within 5 feet in a naval
went across
exercise, went across their bow. I mean, they're being very provocative, and an EMP is like one of the first things that they would do.
Yep.
And that might even be the only thing they do because the impact of that is so huge. We've talked about EMPs before.
We have. So EMPs have been on the radar of the U.S. government for the last 10, 12 years. A big topic. They put on what do you call it? Government supported info seminars and stuff like that, going over the threat and what to do in the event of an EMP. It's ramped up over the last couple of years as far as its frequency of being mentioned on social media, news stories, and such like that. And that's all because of what you said, the probabilities of something like that being used in the state of the world as we are right now is getting more and more likely. So I thought it would be a good time to kind of go over some basic steps on what to do immediately if an EMP is unleashed in or around in your region. And on top of that, Forbes has reported, the magazine has reported by some source that China now has super EMP weapons and knows how to protect itself against EMP attacks. So that may be why they're getting cocky with their airplane dive bombing us or cutting us off in the waters. But they feel confident that they have something up on us, obviously, right?
Yep.
And it could be something like an EMP. What causes an EMP? We've kind of went through that. It's electromagnetic pulse. It's a thermonuclear explosion well above the Earth's, up in the atmosphere above the ground. Energy.gov explains that EMPs are temporary electromagnetic signals that can disrupt, degrade, and damage technology and critical infrastructure systems across large areas. EMP events can be caused by man or by nature, i.e. a solar storm. What to expect after EMP event? This is kind of the unknown. It's kind of fun to sit and think about, well, if an EMP knocks out electrical grid, what all do we rely on the electrical grid for? If an EMP knocks out vehicles, with all the electrical connections and everything in there, think about what kind of chaos that would provide. Not to mention the goods and services not being able to be shipped, across the states and whatnot. But an EMP. If an EMP happens, you can expect chaos. Even if an EMP only affects a small portion of the United States, that section of the United States will function as if it was hit by a nuclear disaster or a natural disaster. No electricity for weeks or months, empty grocery store shelves, people unable to escape because of no fuel or ATMs, looting, rioting, crippled roads, etc. If the EMP event was big enough to affect a larger portion of the country, we might find ourselves thrown back in time. We may see the entire grid go down, unusable cell phones and GPS systems, broken down vehicles, and more. Steps, here are 15 steps to take immediately after EMP. This is something to get your thoughtful juices flowing in your head. Be prepared. That's something that we always talk about. Get home as soon as possible, and we mean as soon as possible. Drop what you're doing. Don't worry about checking out for work. Get home. If you're not at home when the EMP hits and your car still works, get home before traffic piles up and chaos ensues. If your car doesn't work, grab your go bag from your car and walk home. If you have kids at school or daycare, get them as soon as possible and bring them home. Number 2, buy supplies. Did you have something to say about that?
No.
Number 2, buy supplies. Make sure you have cash in your go bag. Use an EMP Faraday go bag for bonus points. That's fun. I didn't know there was such a thing, but it makes sense. As you make your way home, stop whenever you can and get more supplies, food, water, and batteries. Even if you have these things in your supply at home, you can never have enough. And if you do have enough, you can always use these items to barter with later.
Yep.
Number 3, check for electrical fires. Being that it's a high output or a high amperage voltage pulse that is frying all these electric connections, there is a good chance that they have gotten hot enough to flashpoint, catch something on fire inside your walls. So if there is an EMP event, walk the inside and the outside of your house to make sure that there aren't any smoldering fires that are going to level everything that you've been saving for, and basically your security, your home, and everything in it.
Yeah, and a lot of people don't seem to realize also EMPs, because there can be natural EMPs as well. In the 1800s, there was a thing, they called it the Carrington event, where it was a natural effect EMP type thing. It was from a solar storm. And the telegraph, remember it was a while ago, so we're talking telegraph, the telegraph wires caught on fire from it. So basically, from what you just said, that will absolutely happen. I don't know if anyone lives in a neighborhood with exposed transformers, like in my neighborhood.
They'll be popping all over the place.
The squirrels, lately we've been having quite a few I don't know what you call them, squirrel fireworks, but lots of loud booms where the squirrels have shorted them out, and those can cause damage and catch on fire just from that. You just now multiply that across an entire state.
Yeah. Yep, good point. Number 4, check your electronics. Ideally, you would have protected most of your precious electronics ahead of time by storing them in Faraday bags. If you have, good for you. Go through all of your useful electronics and see what works and what doesn't. If you haven't put electronics in a Faraday bag, hurry and place them inside one today. So they're really stressing the Faraday bags here. Yep. Number 5, do not drink the tap water. Purify it first. Water treatment plants may not operate, and that means water won't be purified. Investing now in a water filtration system means you'll have purified drinking water should an EMP attack occur.
Yep.
Do you have a purifier?
Yep, we do.
Do you? Do you have a backup water purifier?
No, we do.
See, Craig's doing it right. Number 6, fill bathtubs and other containers with water fast. Water will stop flowing at some point without the electricity pushing it.
Yep.
If it does stay on, it won't be drinkable. Fill your tubs, buckets, and portable jugs with water while you still can. Secure a water bank to help store water in your bathtub. Water Bob, remember that thing? That's a good purchase. Number 7, turn on the radio for info. Okay.
If your radio still works.
Yeah, if your radio still works.
And the government radios still work.
That's good. I would go a step further with a different kind of radio. Turn on or develop a community of like-minded individuals with ham radios or GMRS radios and start communicating that way and passing on information that way.
Yeah. Bale fangs are cheap. You can wrap them in aluminum foil, put them in a Faraday cage. They're cheap enough to the point you can actually buy a bunch and store away, and just someday if you need them, you'll have them.
And the best day of your life is you won't need them.
Right.
So, number 8, check your vehicles and hide those that work. This is something I never thought of. If there has been estimates that all but 10% of vehicles work, there's been some that half of vehicles won't work.
Yeah, it's kind of all over the place.
It's but think about even at 10% that don't work, that's taking a large chunk of people's ability to get around. There's going to be people trying to steal vehicles all the time. So his point in this list is, if your vehicle works, don't leave it parking out on the street.
Yep.
Get it inside a garage, cover it up, make it look like it doesn't. Pull a wheel off of it, put it up. I don't know, but
people steal vehicles now to get like trim pieces off of it to sell on the black market.
Yeah.
Now, when you need a car that just works, there's one.
Yep, it's mine now.
Yep.
So yes, don't just leave it out there. Cover it up. Number 9, shelter in place until you have more information. Yes, I guess each person's situation is going to be different. Sometimes sheltering, if I'm downtown, if I'm an idiot that still lives downtown metro,
I'm not
urban
sheltering
area,
in place.
I'm not sheltering in place.
No.
Forget that. I'll take my chances to get out in the urban area. But yes, if I'm already out in the rural area, I probably will shelter in place and assess the situation. Yep. If trouble's coming my way and it looks like I can go to a friend's area that is a little bit more secure, then we'll take our chances on that. But number 10, decide whether to bug in and bug out. We kind of talked about this.
Yep.
Use the information available to you to decide if it is wiser to bug in or bug out. If you live in the urban area, we just said that, you can bet it will be total chaos and you'll probably want to grab your bug out bag and get to a safer location. If you live in the rural area, it might be a better place to shelter in place. We just said that. Number 11, gather emergency gear and food. Grab your emergency supplies and look in your pantry. Take inventory of what you already have and make notes of what you need. Hide everything you can. Again, there are people that will, I would. If I wasn't prepared and my family and kids were hungry,
people will start doing crazy things.
Stuff.
And grocery stores generally only have like 3 days of food on hand.
Yep.
So they'll be empty quick because when the electric grid goes down, everything that goes down, the infrastructure will fail. Depending on how bad it is. You have to gauge everything.
I would have to think, though, if that is in fact an EMP and the news spreads fast that this was an EMP attack, that's a little bit different than a tornado running through.
Yes.
A tornado, people think, it's It's an act of God. It will pass and we'll rebuild. An EMP is so much unknown. It's like, who did it? Are they attacking right afterwards? Are we going to see more bombs?
Yep.
Or this time are they going to be nuclear explosions on the ground that are going to, radiation, all these things are just going to be flooding our brain.
Well, yeah, again, another, not similar, but kind of similar. Back in the 50s, when they broadcast H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds, maybe it was the 40s, over the radio.
Yeah,
there were people
that,
that believed it and thought it was real. There was roving gangs of people out in the middle of the night hunting them aliens.
Yeah.
So people will do crazy stuff when they get scared.
Yep. True that. Like give up their liberties. Oh, anyways, start rationing food ASAP. So if you only have 3 days of food in your pantry, you're screwed.
Yes.
If you've only just started to prep and do food storage, and let's say you have a month or 2 months worth of food at 2,000 calories per day, which is almost nothing.
Yep.
You need to start thinking about.
You need to figure out ways to make that stretch.
How can I stretch this?
Yep.
Number 13. This is one that's underrated in my opinion. Take radiation pills. If there's a slightest indication of an EMP, it was a result of a nuclear event, take a potassium iodide anti-radiation tablet.
That's actually very good advice, and something I hadn't really completely thought about.
Do you have some?
I do, but I wouldn't have necessarily thought about it to take those. But that radiation is going to come down.
Yes.
So, and
you want to make sure your thyroid is full of the good iodide before the bad iodide is around. There are good options on Amazon for these. I highly recommend that you have enough pills for you and your family to take a pill every day for 7 days in store. Everybody that's gone through a decent chemistry class in high school knows about half-lives, and normally the kind of radioactive material that's used in nuclear bombs now are usually after 5 to 7 days it's dissipated enough if you stay inside.
As long as you stay away from the heavily radiated areas.
Yes. And you're just dealing with small amounts of it, that's survivable. Number 14, here's one that gets overlooked a lot. Dig a latrine and a landfill. Sanitation is critical for survival. Dig a latrine in the backyard, same thing for your trash. For those of you that are just going to keep pooping on top of poop in your toilet. And
because your toilet's not going to work because the water's not going to work.
It's going to back right up. You need to think about getting it outside, away from things that you want to stay clean, away from food sources, away from your animals. Also with the trash, your trash and your consumption is going to go way down with this, but you're still going to have trash you're going to want to get rid of.
And the city's not going to come and keep picking that up, you think?
Oh, I'm sure they'll just ignore that there's radiation everywhere. They'll just keep doing
normal pickup, right? Yeah.
Them guys don't care.
They'll be pushing the trucks, but they'll.
Well, those trucks, the ones that do our road, look like they're from 1970, so they probably don't have it.
They might still work.
They might still work. Last one, 15, build defenses at home. Disasters often cause people to act out of sorts.
That is an excellent way to word that.
Out of sorts. I would not have used that. Crazy. Let's replace that with crazy. Protect your home and family by boarding windows and securing doors. Hide supplies. They keep saying that, and I think they're onto something. The chaos that ensues, none of us have ever seen.
Yep.
People are, if they're hungry, what do they say? 4 meals away from just total chaos.
Yep.
If you miss 4 meals, which this would definitely put us in that category, people are going to go insane. Don't panic. Stay vigilant. And be prepared.
Yep. I think the main takeaway from all of this, don't start your preparations the day something bad happens.
It's too late.
It's too late. Start preparing early. The earlier you start preparing, the more it's affordable. Because all this stuff costs money, and a lot of people are resistant to prepping because of that. Because it's all that money. It's like a bank account. You're putting stuff aside you will use someday.
Yep.
So whether you use it a year from now or next week, it's still there. So it's not like you're throwing money away. Now, be smart with your, preparation. Don't go and buy like a truckload of MREs They're
Yeah.
expensive. They do go out of date, although they last surprisingly a long time. But that's not the best way to go. Buy stuff that's usable, and prepping is its own thing. We've done several things on prepping.
Yep.
There's smart ways to do it. Learn how to garden. There again, learn how to do that
I think
before stuff goes bad.
one of the best days of my life would be throwing in 20 years from now, throwing away one of my long-term food survival pack, like Patriot Supply or something like that. Buy that stuff.
What, 20 years from now, you're not going to go ahead and dig that out and still eat it?
I may.
Yeah,
but
I'm going to.
I still, even if things are great, and this is we swing things around and things are great, and we don't have a catastrophic, meltdown of the USA. One of the best days will be pulling that thing out. Oh, this is 30 years old. It's 5 years overdue. I don't really need it. Things are great. Throw it away. Ha ha.
That'd just be great because that means things are okay.
Yes.
Yep.
I'd be
I'm
okay with that.
I'm with you.
But it's not going to happen that way.
I don't think so. I think we'll, I think the day's coming where you'll need this stuff. So get a group. You don't have to be like, crazy people. You just, common sense stuff. Just start preparing. And the worst thing that'll happen is you'll just be okay. I mean, how bad is that that's the worst thing that happens?
That's right.
So-
You actually get life insurance or health insurance hoping that you're not going to get
Yep.
sick, right?
Yep.
Same thing.
So we do have some comments here. Brianna Peck, hello. Hello.
Hello?
Thanks for
I think
thanks
I
for
know
joining us.
you. That might be my niece. May or may not be my niece right there.
Cash for Clunkers got rid of all the old autos that EMPs might not kill. That is absolutely true,
Interesting,
actually.
Jazz.
The Cash for Clunkers program did a whole lot of stuff. It got rid of almost all of the affordable transportation, the low-cost affordable transportation, all the stuff that when I was a ute that I started my driving career with. I mean, my first car was a 1968 Mercury Montego. I paid $300 for it. The thing was like a tank. It only lasted 9 months because I drove it like a tank. And
Is it possible? Is it possible that the Cash for Clunkers law or whatever the policy was pushed by computer chip?
yes.
Is it? Do you know that?
Oh no,
I just thought
I
of that
don't
in
know
my
it,
head.
but yes, I think it's possible. I also think
If you get all those the old ones off the road that don't have the computer chips.
get the old ones off the road. Get the ones off the road that can be easily repaired. I mean, those old vehicles. I mean, there are not that Cuba's a poster child because it's not. But there's people in Cuba that are still driving around the 1950 something or other because all technology kind of stopped in Cuba once all the embargoes started with Castro. And those old vehicles from the 50s, they're still using them. Now they've been modified and hodgepodged and all kinds of stuff.
Rebuilt engines five times.
But they're still out there. Try to do that with anything built these days.
Hyundai.
Yeah. I mean, everything's computerized. You have to have a dealership computer to program the part, like turn signal bulbs and stuff. All these LEDs, they're all really cool until you realize you have to get one at the dealer because they have to program the stupid bulb to work.
Right.
You just don't replace it like a light bulb. It's just
crazy.
It's craziness. Let's see. I don't really see anything else here. Do you have any other ones?
No other comments.
Okay, well, did you want to go ahead and move on to rapid fire, or you
Is
want to
it
call
time? Yeah, we can run through it rapidly. These are all easy peasy. All right, so Craig and I have talked about homeschooling before and getting your kids the hell out of public schools, especially if they're pushing this DEI, sexualize your kid at all costs nonsense. And then somebody might say, but if you homeschool your kids, they won't fit into society. And I say, yes, that's the point. So I thought that was a good one. Next up is interesting. We kind of touched on this 3 weeks ago, where when it comes to gun violence and violence in general, they like to, in the trend right now is for media and our liberal government to shine the light on white supremacist. They call it what? White supremacist hate crime.
Yep.
White supremacy is the biggest threat to our democracy now. All these euphemisms and word games, word salads that are made to get you to think a certain way, when the facts and the data don't really show that it's whites beating up on everybody and that whites are the white supremacists are the big problem. It really here's a chart. If you just read down through that, it shows firearm homicide death rates by race. Annual firearm homicide deaths among men per 100,000 per year by race and state. This is by CNN Health, so this is not a beacon of right-wing extremism.
No,
by any chance,
not
or
by
conservative. This is CNN. So if you run down through, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it, but the stats that they, or the what they want you to believe, is not supported by the stats. Let's just leave it at that.
Yep.
Next one, we got Rasmussen reports. It has an update. A new high in voter distrust of the 2020 election results was set today. So they polled a bunch of people. How likely is it that cheating affected the outcome of the 2020 election? This is like 2.5 years late. We all knew this.
Yep.
We all had evidence of it, and now people are they're just starting to trickle it.
Yep.
2.5 years later, Democrats are 45 to 50%, which surprises me. That's a pretty good clip for them.
Yeah.
So they're being honest with themselves finally. Independents 64%, likely 28% not likely. Republicans 80%. That's about where I expected it to be. And so 62% of everybody thinks that it's pretty likely that the outcome of the 2020 presidential election was affected by cheating. Interesting?
Yep, I think that's interesting. And there again, I don't think it necessarily means that the actual election was absolutely stolen.
No.
But I do think there was some shenanigans that occurred that could have steered the outcome.
I think that's safe. All right, fifth one, the newest and latest in your Barbie collection, Democrat Barbie. Seen some of these people look like that out there around. Next one is something that I think we need to keep in the front of our minds always. Democrats don't seem to have any type of compassion for vets as they do for illegals, and that I just don't get that. You know what? Fine, we can have compassion for illegals, but let's take care of our vets first and get them the benefits and the health care and
that they've earned.
The homes. They have put their life on the line for us.
Yep.
Let's take care of them first, and then we'll talk about the illegals. Next one up. It's all-time low trust in government, and that's the way it should be. When corrupt politicians start going to jail, we can start trusting the government again. I'm not holding my breath on this, Craig. I don't believe any of the Biden people, Hillary, Obama, Christopher Wray, who's the dude before him at FBI, Comey.
Yeah.
None of these guys are going to spend a minute in jail.
Nothing's gonna happen to any of them.
But it would, if one or two of them went in, I'd start ticking back up my trust in government.
Yep.
But it's just not going to happen. All right, next one, hat tip, Emperor Intel Wave. He was nice enough to let us all know before we hopped on AOC's merchandise shop, but he was nice enough to let us know that he noticed all of the men's small and women's XXL sizes were sold out at Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's merch shop, and I think that tells you who her constituents are there.
I think it does, yes.
Small men and fat ladies. All right. Was that too cold?
No.
All right.
I'm not going to say a word.
Gun owners of America. I don't see. I didn't say that about you, Craig. Is that what you're?
What, you don't think I can wear
I think you're a big man.
Yeah.
Big tough guy. No, gun owners of America.
A short big man. Was it Little Big Man? Was that movie?
Gun Owners of America hat tip. ATF is now shamelessly putting out feelers for hiring for their HR department. Just days after a bombshell report revealed 108 bureaucrats of the ATF's Human Resources Department stole more than $20 million in the last 5 years.
Wow.
Looks like they had to do some cleaning house and they need to refill the HR department, huh?
Or could it be that those people just suddenly realize they don't have to work anymore and they just have to refill the positions?
That could be it. That's that's interesting. I didn't think of it that way. All right, next one. Speaking of the FBI, they were caught in the stall with their best friends, the Democrats, and this is what it looked like.
You're not right.
I'm sorry about that. All right, since Joe Biden has warned us all that the biggest threat to American democracy and all this is white supremacy, I thought it'd be a good primer for us to learn what a white supremacist looks like. And I've got some key things to look for to see if your neighbor is possibly a white supremacist. Know the warning signs of white supremacy. If they have full employment, they may be a white supremacist. If they are literate, they may be a white supremacist. If they are a professional or technical, if they have a professional or technical degree, they probably are a white supremacist. If they regularly attend church, they are probably a white supremacist. If they have auto insurance, they might be a white supremacist. If they have a good credit rating, they are probably a white supremacist. If they have no criminal record, they're probably a white supremacist. And finally, if they distrust the government, they're probably a white supremacist. That kind of covers all bases. Do you know anybody that fits that?
Well, apparently I'm a white supremacist.
You just found out today.
I just found out today. Oh my goodness!
Stuff.
But thank you for letting me know.
Yeah, I'm glad to be of help.
Now I can accept that guilt of the white privilege.
Yes. Hang your head in shame. All right, next one, hat tip, Genevieve Rochdachter, CFA. This one hit me kind of solid. The U.S. Treasury has $57 billion in cash on hand, while the government carries $31 trillion in debt. Now, not too many people are familiar with billion and trillion. They can't picture what that means.
It's hard to wrap your mind around.
So that is the equivalent of an average person having $1,000 in cash or in the bank and having $543,000 in debt. I'd say that individual person's in trouble. If you have $1,000 in savings and you're $500,000 plus in debt, you're in trouble, son.
Well, luckily they just went back to their lender and they were able to negotiate a new debt ceiling.
I see what you did there. Isn't that kind of what they did?
That is exactly
borrow more money to pay the old bills?
Yep, that's exactly
what
they did.
And the old interest. Fox News hat tip. Jeffrey Epstein allegedly threatened Bill Gates over a reported affair with Russian card player. This was a blip for a half a day.
And then it got yanked.
And it's gone. Nobody's talking about it. Nobody cares. Bill Gates has some friends in high places, man.
Well, he's in the proper social club. He's and he didn't come through it with old money. He bought his way in, so they might not like him, but he's still in the gang.
So Weinstein just didn't have the same friends, evidently, right?
I've heard the conspiracy. Okay, here comes the conspiracy theory part of the show. I've heard conspiracies saying that he's still alive.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Epstein.
Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think he's quite gone.
I saw those pictures of him being rolled out, and people were trying to make little differences about what his lip was, whatever,
But I mean, honestly, it wouldn't surprise me either way. Nope. If he was alive, it wouldn't surprise me, and if they offed him because he was now a liability, wouldn't surprise me.
Well, he was a agent. For the Middle East. He was a spy, basically.
Oh, yeah.
All right, next one. This is on foreign aid. Foreign aid is taking money from the poor people in one country and giving it to the rich people in a poor country. That's my boy Ron Paul. There has never been anybody more right, in my opinion, than Ron Paul for the last 30 years. He's been right about everything. He's been clamoring the clarion bell about how corrupt the Fed is, the Federal Reserve is, and nobody's been listening. Now we're starting to see a little bit of that.
Well, he's been banging that drum for auditing the Fed now for as long as I can remember.
This is true, though. I mean,
it
foreign aid is
absolutely
taking
is.
money from the poor people in our country,
Yep.
the taxpayers, right?
Yep.
And giving it to rich people of a poor country.
Yeah.
It's so true.
The money hardly ever actually gets to the people who need it in those
That's right.
countries.
That's right. Next one, I'd like to identify as a non-binary. I identify as non-binary. Is that a play on non-binary?
I think
Like
it might.
sexual or
I think it
something?
might be.
My pronouns are FJB. What's that stand for again? I forget.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not sure. Okay, let's go, Brandon. I know that one.
Yeah.
All right, that's a cute one. All right, keep it up, folks. The boycotts are working. It's the only thing that the leftards understand is if you hit them in the pocketbook. This Target blip that I put up here of their stock price was taken 14 days ago, and it's dropped, I believe, another $20 beyond this. I wish I had an exact number for you. But don't ever shop at Target again. They don't deserve your money. They hate you. Can I remind you again? They hate you. Don't spend your money there. There's other choices. Keep up the boycotts. We all know about Bud Light, the Dodgers, all that garbage. So, hat tip, Turning Point USA, breaking. The MRC uncovers DHS anti-terrorism propaganda program. So the Department of Homeland Security anti-terrorism program has made up a thing that demonizes certain terrorist, domestic terrorist groups. Right? Check this out. Can you see this? They've got, if you notice, at the very top are some of the well-known. Not so well known, like the Nazi, David Duke groups, stuff like that. But at the bottom, at the very bottom of this pyramid, you see the Republican Party,
Fox News,
Heritage
Foundation,
National Rifle Association, and then the next step on, just a little bit worse than them, is people like PragerU. This is these
3%ers.
So they're actually putting on a program to teach the people in Department of Homeland Security to look out for these banners, these flags. If you see people that have these insignias on them, they're probably a terrorist.
Yeah, it's sad that it's just sad, honestly, how our government's going currently.
I have about 5 of those stickers and another 2 or 3 of those flags.
Yep.
So I am a hardcore, I guess, domestic terrorist. I don't know. Next one, taxation is on this pie chart. The red part would be taxation is the price we pay to live in a civil society. The white part of the pie is necessary to build the roads. Or the correct answer, taxation is
theft.
That's correct.
It is legalized theft by people with guns.
Period. All right, next one. My boy Ted Nugent hat tip. Let's see. There's no year on this, but I think this is last year. Obesity deaths 280,148. Firearm deaths 8,538. Looks like your cheeseburger is far more dangerous than my gun. Agreed, Ted Nugent. Well put.
Absolutely true.
Well put. I think that is it, so. Yep, that's it. That's all I got.
Cool. I like it.
I think we went along a little bit long tonight, about 9 minutes long.
Yeah, it did go a little bit long tonight, but like I said, we're once a month, so I guess that's okay.
Yeah, we'll take it.
So, as always, I hope you enjoyed the program. If you like this type of content, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you're notified when we release new stuff. Like I said, the Random Shots, the live program, will go to once a month, but we will still be releasing other content throughout as we make it. We still have a lot of neat stuff coming, so keep watching for that. Please share as well. The powers that be that control all of the technology stuff, they don't like content like this.
No, they don't.
They don't like Second Amendment. They don't like freedom. They definitely don't like anything having to do with firearms or honestly even being patriotic. Patriotic is now considered a bad term by a lot of those people.
Domestic terrorism.
So please share us. The algorithm is not doing us any favors, so we are still trying to grow the channel. So we'd appreciate any assistance you can give. As always, please send any comments our way or anything that you think we might be interested in. We'd be interested in that as well. So you have any final words?
Nope. Peace out. Thanks for showing up.
Okay, I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up from there. As always, until next time, stay safe.
Bye-bye.